Alrighty.
Yay, it worked.
Alrighty. We are live, everyone. Welcome to our Hot Topic Tuesday. And today we are talking about the number one vitamin that everyone should be taking. And I had put the description on Facebook that it is super easy to get overwhelmed by, you know, so many things out there. And like, it's funny because I get solicitations all the time for, you know, you should market our vitamins or you should take our vitamins and blah, blah, blah. And it's got this, it's going to give you so much energy. It's going to make you younger. It's going to whatever. It's easy to get overwhelmed because there's just so much out there. But hands down, the number one vitamin that if you don't take anything, the number one vitamin that everyone should be taking is magnesium. So, magnesium is, and specifically taking into a vitamin form, a lot of people do not get an adequate amount of magnesium from their diet. And also, even if they are eating magnesium rich foods, a lot of times if we have issues going on within the gut where say we lack stomach acid, we may not be actually absorbing the magnesium. So it is not going to hurt to take a magnesium vitamin or supplement. So with that being said, magnesium is, just so everyone knows, is an essential mineral in the body that plays a crucial role in bodily functions. And a fun fact, it is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. Super important and can play just such a major role with blood sugar regulation, with sleep, with our muscle function, with our mood, with our brain health, just a lot of different functions that magnesium has. So without further ado, Trisha's going to touch on some of the health benefits of magnesium.
Yep, magnesium has so many health benefits that we actually condensed this just a touch for purpose of today, so we wouldn't be, droning on and on and on about them. But there really is so many. It is awesome. And funny, when we were kind of coming up with this topic, April's like, "So what is it? What do you think it is, Trish? What's the one?" And I did kind of throw out three, but magnesium was definitely in there. I'm like, "Oh, it's got to be between like vitamin D3, magnesium." I think I said second, and then I was like, maybe fish oil, but definitely that one came to mind first. So health benefits, we have bone health. So supports bone density, helps prevent osteoporosis. So that is a big one. Heart health. So magnesium can regulate the heart rhythm and blood pressure. We've got muscle function. I think that's, one most people kind of think of for magnesium for like muscle recovery. And, a lot of people are introduced to it if they do sports and things like that at a younger age. But that can prevent muscle cramps and spasms. We've got energy production. So magnesium, super important for that. It's essential actually for converting food into energy. So, again, we're eating this great food. We want to be able to convert it into some good energy sources. And mood and stress, which we talk about a lot around here. And magnesium is definitely helps in reducing anxiety. And a little bit further in the talk, we'll kind of go through some different types of magnesium and pinpoint ones that are best for that. It can definitely help improve sleep. We always tell everybody to take their magnesium at night because it is calming and can help sleep, and it can help enhance your mood. So those are, again, many more benefits, but those are kind of the big ones we wanted to touch on.
Now, some of the signs, some of the signs and symptoms that you may actually be deficient in magnesium, the number one would be muscle cramps and spasms. So
Mm.
if you're getting, and it's funny that we're touching on this topic, but last night, of course, I'm kind of under the weather, hence the nasally voice. But last night it was like 2 in the morning. I woke up with the most painful Charlie horse in my calf, and the only way to get rid of those is you have to jump out of bed and stand up. Like literally, like you just have to stand up, but it's horrible because that's the last thing you want to do at 2 a.m. But anyway, muscle cramps and spasms are number one. Fatigue and weakness overall within the body. If you're experiencing nausea and vomiting, could be another sign. a abnormal heart rhythm, if you notice or you feel that your heart rhythm is a little bit off or it's a little bit faster, that is a sign, as well as anxiety and depression. So those are some of the signs and symptoms, common signs and symptoms that you may be deficient in magnesium. Now, some of the natural ways. So we're going to touch on the natural ways to increase magnesium through diet, and then Trish is going to touch on the options for supplementation. So, diet sources of magnesium within the diet. Leafy greens is number one. Always, I mean, everybody's diet should be full of, leafy greens, daily anyway. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, anything dark is kind of what you're looking for there. Nuts and seeds, so like almonds, pumpkin seeds, those are all like great sources. Whole grains, so like brown rice, quinoa, those are just a couple of sources. Legumes, black beans, lentils. Lentils are like hold a special place in my heart because they're such a big fiber powerhouse. They're good. Plus, they're really, really good. If you've never made a good Moroccan stew, you're missing out. And lastly, fish. So salmon and mackerel are great, great sources of magnesium. Those are natural ways to incorporate, or just a few ways to incorporate within your diet. And then we have the supplementation options, and there are tons. There's quite a few options for
Yeah.
supplementation for magnesium.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely a lot of options for supplementation. We'll, as I go through and kind of highlight, we'll kind of say like, some of our personal favorites and why, but it's also not a bad idea to switch around, sometimes. But, it took me a while into doing this to realize that all these different magnesiums did have kind of specific roles. So it's kind of always interesting to talk about those. But the first one we have is magnesium citrate. Very, very common. I mean, you can see it everywhere. I know anytime you're in even just the grocery store looking at magnesium, this is going to be something that's going to be available. And we've mentioned this before, but anything that ends in ATE usually does tend to be a little bit better available source than the IEDs. So as I'm kind of going through these, you can kind of take note of that. So magnesium citrate is easily absorbed by the body. It's great for its kind of laxative benefits. So if you're somebody that needs a little bit of help in that area, and again, like taking it at night can be a benefit for that too, as it's calming and can help bowel movements in the morning. So that is a, good one to take that. So it can relieve constipation and kind of help the bowel movement. Now, if you don't want that as much, I'll kind of go through a couple others that might be better if you tend to have, because some people do have too, loose of bowels, or they don't need that help. And that's one reason they don't take magnesium as much, is because it will do that. So I can kind of tell you some other ones as I'm going along that don't have as much of a bowel stimulating effect. So we've got magnesium oxide next. This has a high concentration of magnesium, but it's not as readily and, as well absorbed by the body compared to other forms. So this one is mostly used if somebody just really needs to supplement to intake their magnesium. Maybe you've had, a test and it's showing it's low. This could be kind of used for that one, but not as easily absorbed by the body as, maybe great of a source as some of the other ones. Magnesium glycinate is next. That's probably our current family favorite. Our current favorite. We talk about that one a lot. I think April and I are both taking that one as a form of magnesium right now. So this form of magnesium is bonded with the amino acid glycine. It's highly bioavailable, which is one of the reasons we really like it, and well tolerated by the body. This is often used for calming properties. It may help promote relaxation and sleep. And we have noticed that it doesn't have as much of that bowel stimulating effect as the magnesium citrate does. So if you're somebody that wants to kind of stay away from that effect, this will be a really, really great one. Then we've got magnesium malate. This form is bonded with malic acid. It's involved in energy production. So often used to support muscle function and alleviate muscle pain. In fact, fatigue. So that could be a good one if you're, out there and hitting the sports fields and, that kind of stuff. If maybe spasms and cramps and stuff are an issue, that could be good. Then we have magnesium L-threonate. So this has been helped to develop magnesium levels in the brain. So it has the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and may have cognitive benefits, such as improving memory and cognitive function. And this one can definitely help with your anxiety. So can help a little bit more with kind of stress and anxiety there. The last one we have is magnesium chloride. So this one is this is mostly going to be in like your lotions and oils, bath salts. It can be absorbed through the skin, and it also can help, that muscle and, kind of cramping relaxation. So think of like your Epsom salts and stuff. You're going to mostly have your magnesium chloride there. So those are kind of our main ones that you're going to see kind of mainstream. And then that could help you kind of decide which ones to take. Sometimes you'll see products that have combinations of different ones of those, but I've noticed I've had a good benefit with like switching it up sometimes. So I was doing a citrate for a while and then moved to the glycinate and really noticed a huge benefit with that one. But I have been on that one a while too, so I'm almost ready to maybe kind of switch it up a little bit, and just get a different effect from it.
I'm kind of actually noticing something similar. And I was gonna, and you mentioned this, but I was just gonna touch on and remind the magnesium L-threonate. That one is the only one that crosses that blood-brain barrier. But it's really, really good for those of y'all out there who tend to suffer with anxiety. That's great for anxiety. You can actually take 1 to 2 capsules in the morning and then one capsule at night, and it will actually kind of help calm the brain a little bit. So
Yeah,
that's
I've never taken that one. So actually we're like, preparing for this. I was like, maybe I'll try that one.
and you touched on too about the Epsom salts. I was going to give the fun fact that another option is at night to take an Epsom salt bath, because Epsom salts contain magnesium, and it will kind of help. Just a reminder that our skin is the largest organ on the body, and actually is the biggest option for absorption, because it just has the largest surface. So taking an Epsom salt bath, we will absorb the magnesium much easier that way, and to get the benefits quicker, as well as the transdermal. So there is like magnesium lotions and oils out there. Just, make sure that you're like really, rubbing it in and absorbing it well. Just
I
kind
have
of.
several people doing that on their feet at night.
Yes, well,
Mhm.
actually, I was doing that myself, and I have some
Yeah.
in my nightstand, in the drawer of my nightstand. I was rubbing it on the bottom of my feet. I just sometimes I get a little leery of, which, I mean, I don't spoon with my dogs or anything, but
Oh, yeah.
I just get leery of some of that, the transdermal.
Absorbing on them. Yeah.
Exactly, kind of, almost kind of like, you get the transdermal hormones, like anytime I hear, someone getting an estrogen cream, I'm like, oh, you better be careful so that doesn't rub off on your husband, because it can, or
Yeah.
like even rub off on the sheets, and then, because it can, transfer. So be careful of that. So with that being said, now let's talk about the recommended intake. So the RDA suggests that the recommendation is 310 to 420 milligrams a day. That's 310 milligrams for a female, 420 for a male. However, from a functional standpoint, that is a little bit higher. So depending on what you're taking magnesium for, if it's for anxiety, if it's for sleep, if it's for muscle recovery, whatever the situation is, from a functional standpoint, that amount is 400 milligrams to 600 milligrams a day. So it is a little bit higher than the RDA. So just kind of keep that in mind. But if you're not taking any at all and you actually start taking it, you should actually notice a positive difference even with a low dose. So we are interested to hear if you are not taking magnesium and you add it, if it made a positive difference. And we will see y'all next week.
Bye.